In times of turmoil and deep uncertainty, humanity has often sought signs from the divine to find guidance and comfort. Even today, messages of light continue to illuminate our path, reminding us of hope and faith. The recent apparition of the Virgin Mary, as shared by Pope Francis, seems to carry a new urgency, especially in our world that struggles not to lose itself in materialism and despair. The Pope invites us today to understand and respond to the message of the Mother of God. This message, intense and filled with unconditional love, is a call to return to deep spiritual values, to restore our connection with faith. But what does this celestial message really reveal? And how can we embrace it in our modern lives, often far from prayer and contemplation? If you seek to nourish your soul and draw from spiritual wisdom to guide your path, then don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and join our community for moments of shared inspiration. Because today, this message may very well be a light to guide your steps in an increasingly dark world. The Pope's mystical vision. According to Pope Francis, the Virgin Mary appeared ethereally, dressed in white, symbolizing purity and divine grace. In her hands, she held a sphere enveloped in thick black smoke, a striking image of the spiritual and material challenges that plague our times. This powerful visual symbol mirrors our own struggles and the urgency to restore our connection with the divine. For the Holy Father, this is not just a vision, but a message from the Virgin for all those who feel a need for clarity and peace. As Psalm 46 reminds us, God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. In a time when everything seems on the brink of collapse, prayer becomes our strength, our anchor. A call to faith and the sacraments. Through the voice of the Pope, the Virgin Mary urges us not to let our faith unravel. Prayer, the sacraments, and spiritual communion become essential. As the Apostle Paul teaches in Philippians 4:6-7, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. The Virgin's message is not a solitary warning, but a call to reconcile, to repair the bonds between humanity and the divine, and to relearn forgiveness. A light in the darkness. Even when darkness seems to engulf the world, Pope Francis reassures us, Christ remains near us, waiting for us to return to Him. The Virgin's promise to protect the Church and its faithful under her mantle is a symbol of hope for all those who feel lost. As the successor of Peter, the Holy Father feels called to guide his flock in these challenging times and invites us all to participate in this mission. The Pope encourages us to pray, not only for ourselves but for the Church and its leaders, in the face of the spiritual challenges of our time. This prayer becomes a powerful weapon, capable of strengthening us and uniting us. The power of the Rosary. Among the spiritual means available to us, the Pope places special emphasis on the Rosary, an ancient practice that resonates powerfully today. According to the Pope, with the Rosary in hand, no heart can remain in darkness. Through this prayer, we connect to heavenly forces, to the protection of the Virgin, and to divine support in our daily lives. In moments when everything seems to be collapsing, the Rosary becomes a reminder that we are not alone. Pope Francis reminds us that prayer lights our way and strengthens our spirit in the face of challenges. And you, have you taken a moment to meditate and pray today? A call to be witnesses of faith, spiritual devotion is not limited to words or gestures devoid of meaning. On the contrary, Pope Francis invites us to become active witnesses of the gospel. In a world immersed in secularism and relativism, each believer is called to show through their actions the love and compassion of Christ. As Matthew 18:20 says, "For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I with them." This verse is a promise. Together in prayer and fraternal love, we can confront the darkness. The Church, a spiritual fortress. The Church, through its sacraments, becomes a spiritual fortress for souls. It continues to offer refuges of grace, where each person can seek mercy and peace. Pope Francis encourages believers to approach the sacraments fervently, especially the Eucharist, which is at the heart of our Christian faith. It is in the body and blood of Christ that we draw strength to face the challenges of each day. The Pope also emphasizes the importance of confession, a sacrament often neglected, but which is, in fact, a powerful source of liberation and spiritual renewal. By confessing our weaknesses, we leave behind what distances us from God and commit to walking once again on the path of faith. A call to holiness for the Holy Father. Holiness is not an unattainable ideal, but an urgent necessity. In a world turning away from God, holy souls are beacons of light. The Pope exhorts each believer to be an instrument of divine grace, to bring love and comfort to those around them. Prayer and the Rosary thus become allies in this quest for holiness and light. A message of hope. In these confusing times, Pope Francis reminds us insistently that the Virgin Mary is present, that she intercedes for us before God. She calls us to prayer, sacrifice, and love. Despite the trials, the light of Christ will never go out. We are invited to take part in this spiritual battle, to become living witnesses of the gospel, to carry this light that can transform our lives and those of those around us. If this perspective resonates with you, join us to discover how to integrate this wisdom into your daily life. May this message of peace and hope inspire you to walk with faith and determination through the darkest times, knowing that we are never alone.